to Curtis Chapman. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody. Well, Harold is normally a very loving, nice man, but when he's been up all night and all morning unloading and reloading trucks in sub-zero weather, he's still nice. But don't push it any further, right? Okay, all right. Yeah, when I heard you guys' response, I thought, uh-oh, he's not going to be happy with that. He's going to get on to you because he's had a long last 24 hours, I think. But we're thankful we're here. We made it, and it's going to be a little crazy getting everything ready and getting set up, but we're going to be good to go. And so thank you all for having us and for being here. And we're kind of on the home stretch. This is the next to the last night of our tour. Tomorrow's the last day. And so it's sad. It's always kind of bittersweet. But we're also very excited to be home for Thanksgiving. Back in Tennessee, we have a saying, the horse has spotted the barn. You know, the horse has turned for the barn and it knows we're heading home. So we kind of got this, okay, we can go, we can do it, we can do it. But we're thankful that you're here, and really excited about what is going to happen in the concert tonight, and excited about this time. This is always a special time. Over the years, you know, as things have gotten busier and crowds, you know, grew from, it used to be I would play in a place like this, or this would even be a very big place, you know, for me to play. And I was able to meet, you know, people after a concert and sit on the edge of stage and just talk, and I miss those days so much as things grew. Of course, my voice talking for an hour or two after singing for 2 or 3 hours. You know, I had many doctors tell me that's just not going to work that way, and you're going to have to save your voice if you want to be able to sing night after night and all of that. So this has given me kind of an opportunity to do some of that again, to get to hear from you. This is kind of what I call the kitchen time. The concert's kind of a living room setting, even though it's sound and lights and, you know, band and all that. So it's kind of a lively living room, but it's still, we want it to feel like you're just hanging out with friends, worshiping together, hearing stories and all of that. But this time, if you come to my house, if you're in the kitchen, that's where the really inside stuff happens. That's where the family always gathers, even though my wife gets mad and tries to shoo us out of the kitchen because she can't get any work done. We love, for some reason, to hang out. That's where we all end up staying when it's just our immediate family. So this is kind of like the kitchen time. You know, this is where we get to do the inside stuff, talk about what's going on in our lives, and you get to ask questions. And I have a guitar here. If you have a song that you want to hear, and if this is the big if I can actually remember it, because see, I had a birthday 2 days ago, and I'm also a grandpa. I'm a grandfather now. So combine all that together, and the fact that I have about 500 or 600 or 700 songs that I've written over the years, and many of them that I've recorded. A lot of times people say, you know, can you sing this song? And I love this song, and sometimes I'm sitting up here thinking, are you sure that's not a Michael W. Smith song? And then I have to go research it and Google it and realize, no, I wrote that one. And so chalk up another one I need to go relearn. But so I may have to, you know, pass. But if it's not in the concert already and I can remember it, I can sing a little bit of a song if that's what you'd like to hear. So anyway, this is your time. I'm going to let you ask questions and let's get started. It's been a while, but let's see if I can remember. I remember the chorus. I'll do that much. I guess I was like, I don't know, 12, 13, something like that. And this was the chorus. This was the chorus of the song. When Christ comes, I just wanna hear him sing. When Christ comes, I just wanna hear him say, when Christ comes, I just wanna hear him say, when Christ comes, I just wanna hear him say, well done. So that was That was the very first that I can remember writing. And it had verses, which that's kind of a simple chorus, obviously. But it was interesting for me because I guess, and I can't really remember specifically, but I must have been in, I was in youth group. I was active in my church, and maybe it was something that was being taught. It was that I remember specifically the parable of the talents and how the master leaves and he entrusts to his servants. In the version I was reading at the time in the Bible talked about he entrusted talents to his servants. And I remember people always would say, you have a lot of talent. God has given you talent. And so something registered with me with that parable and that whole story about, well, if God has given me these talents and then he's left them, kind of entrusted them to me, then when he comes back, I want him to be able to say, you've done well with what I left you. And, at that time in my life, I had no idea of what a mission statement was or calling into ministry or anything like that. I loved music. I loved playing the guitar. I loved Christian music. Loved a lot of different styles of music, but the music that came out of me was music that was influenced by my faith. And as I thought back over the years, I really feel like God just orchestrated things in that I really wrote my mission statement as my very first song, that everything that I would do, with the gifts God had given me, would ultimately be to that end, that he would be able to say, well done, you've done well with what I entrusted to you. So, and I don't, it's not currently in this set list, and so I'm thankful you asked, because I'd love to sing a little bit of it. This song was written, I used to make, in the early days with our young children, our first three, my wife's from Ohio, and we'd make a lot of trips from Nashville to Springfield, Ohio. It's about a 6.5 hour drive. And in fact, there are several songs, if you listen to my music over the years, there was a song called I Do Believe, and in fact the lyric says, sitting in a traffic jam, 11:52 p.m., sitting in a traffic jam somewhere just south of Cincinnati, Ohio. And that was literally on one of our trips in the middle of the night, 11:52 p.m., almost midnight. There's all of a sudden dead stop traffic. There was a game or something that had just let out in Cincinnati. And so it was one of those crazy things. But I was on that road, and a lot of songs were written on that trip. And everybody would be asleep, and I'd be just kind of thinking and writing songs. And I remember we were going to a funeral for one of my wife's uncles, and I was just thinking about, he was a believer, and yet, kind of the story of my wife's family. There's a lot of church-going family members, but it wasn't until later in life and as we got married that she really began to kind of go deeper in her faith and really look at what am I here for? What's this relationship with God really intended to be, more than just kind of going to church on Sunday and Wednesday. And so I was thinking about her family and just being there for a funeral, which always kind of brings you face to face with what is it, what is this life really about? And so I think it was that, I was just thinking about that, pondering that I wrote this song for this life. I watched in silence as people passed me by, and I strained to see if there was something hidden in their eyes. But they all look back at me as if to say, life just goes on and on. Your familiar story, told in different ways. Make the most of your own journey from the cradle to the grave. Dream your dreams tomorrow, because today life just goes on and on and on and on. But there's more to this life than living and dying, more than just trying to make it through the day. More to this life, more than these eyes alone can see. And there's more than this life alone can be. I wrote this song, my pastor, Scotty Smith, is a guitar. Can you guys hear the guitar out there? I can't really tell. Is it? Maybe turn up this one. My pastor, I feel like there are about 3 guys, I'm sure when I get to heaven, I feel like the Apostle Paul is going to be waiting for me saying, okay, pay up all the royalties you owe me for all the songs that you stole from my writings. It'll be the Apostle Paul, it'll be David, the psalmist. We'll all owe him a lot. Chris Tomlin will be first in that line. Pay up. And then it'll be guys like A.W. Tozer and Oswald Chambers. You know, so many that have influenced my songs and my lyrics. But my pastor, Scotty Smith, is so many of my songs I can directly tie back to a sermon, a phrase, you know, that he's used over and over again. Not Home Yet, Magnificent Obsession, the song Dive. There's so many that are directly connected to a sermon series or a message. And he often would say, he has since retired from preaching regularly at our church, but he would often say, at some point in a message, God is God and I am not, you know, and just reminding himself and reminding us that we are not in control. And, you know, it's 2 very important things being said in that statement, even though they're saying the same thing, but that God is God, he's in control. And I'm usually good with that as long as I can sort of help him out. You know, as my wife says, be the 4th member of the Trinity. You know, and so that second half of that is that you are not, you know, has been a very important part of my journey. And this song particularly was written around that and around a time of really wrestling through some things. Close friends of ours who lost a child in an accident, you know, years before I would have any experience of that, and certainly see how God even used that to in some ways, some of the wrestling that I did with him then, that would, you know, maybe allow me to be a little further on that journey when we faced our own very dark experience with losing Maria. But a lot of this and other friends that were just going through some very difficult things that were very wonderful, good, right people. They were the kind of people that I would expect God to make everything work out for. And we all know those people. Some of you are those people, and you think, boy, surely, you know, things could go better. And so just, I think like all of us, I've been so reminded and confronted with the fact that God is, you know, God is God. I'm not in control. Those who know that album specifically in that CD know that a lot of the story that was woven through that music with God is God, and song No Greater Love, and several songs that referenced the story of Jim Elliot and the 5 missionaries who were killed in the jungles of Ecuador back in the 50s. If you don't know that story, you should check it out. There's a movie, a film that was made recently, End of the Spear. There's a book written by Elizabeth Elliot, Through Gates of Splendor. But it was a profound story of, again, how God takes what looks like such complete disaster, and in his time, and on his schedule, and in his way, he reveals something very profound and amazing. And yet we're still left with sometimes, you know, the pain and the heartache and the longing for heaven. It doesn't mean like everything is all of a sudden wrapped up and neatly tied up and God says, okay, there's your present and now it's all okay, because it's still not okay, you know, with us having lost our daughter. It's still grieve, we still have a broken heart, even as God has brought such great healing to us and continues to. So being okay with that, being able to rest more and more in, you know, what Job would say, his version would be, blessed be the name of the Lord. He gives, he takes away. But I'm going to bless his name. I'm going to choose that. And So I think this song was one for me of saying that and declaring that. And it's been a while, but I think I'll see if I can remember this one. And the pain falls like a curtain on the things I once called certain. And I have to say the words I fear the most, I just don't know. And the questions without answers come and paralyze the dancer. And I'm standing here on the stage, afraid to move and afraid to fall. Oh, but fall I must on this truth that my life has been formed from the dust. And God is God and I am not. I can only see part of the picture He's painting. God is God and I am man, so I'll never understand it all. Only God is God. Only God is God. Harold's gonna get mad, and we don't want to see him angry. He turns green and bursts out of clothes and stuff. No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. But I would love to pray and just ask God to have His way with our time together tonight. Father, we thank You so much for this time together. Thank You for Your faithfulness, God. Thank You for just these reminders, Lord, even these songs that people have mentioned that through the years You have used to encourage them. Lord, I'm so humbled by that. I'm so grateful for it. I'm just blown away. It reminds me again, Lord, it really is all about You. And yet I receive this encouragement and this honor, Lord, and turn and just offer it to You, because You're the one that's worthy of it. You're the one that it all comes from. So we remember that tonight as we gather in this room, Lord, to see You glorified, to see You lifted up. We ask You to come as the God of all comfort, the God of peace. Come bring conviction where it's needed, bring healing, bring hope. Lord, do what You alone can do and what You alone know needs to happen in this place. Lord, this is our prayer, our hope, our desire. We love You. We thank You so much for Your love for us.